Hi everybody, welcome back. This is Samantha from Peko Peko and Samantha's Japanese Cooking School. Today we're going to do a delicious tataki tuna with ponzu sauce, so let's get started. So before we start our Japanese tataki tuna, we're going to put some rice on, remembering that we always use a Japanese koshi curry rice, which is a Japanese short grain rice. You can use the short grain at the supermarket, but it's better to get the real thing. So let's go wash it. First wash is really important because it's to get rid of the polishing agents. So we quickly get rid of those polishing agents, and then we continue to wash until it becomes quite transparent. Normally about 5 or 6 times I like to wash it off. Use a strainer to rinse it off. Now leave it like this for at least half an hour. If you have time and you're very organised, leave it in the fridge in a sealed container and it will be delicious the next day. So here I have some rice that's already been soaking for a few hours. I've popped it in the pot, 2 cups of rice to 2.5 cups of water. And try and make sure that the water is filtered. So 2.5 cups of water. Now, a special ingredient that I always put in my rice. So this little guy here is a Japanese seaweed. It's actually called kombu. It's the harder type of seaweed. If I pop this in my rice, I'll get a little bit more umami or a little bit more flavour. I'm going to pop this rice on now so it's lovely, hot and fluffy by the time our tataki tuna is ready. So we're just going to bring that to the simmer, and then we're going to pop the lid on with a tea towel around it and cook it for 20 minutes. So let's get started on our sauce. So we need some fresh lemon juice. I'm going to put 6 tablespoons of lemon juice, zest of 1 lemon, 2 tablespoons of fresh orange juice, not out of a bottle. Now the rice is just beginning to simmer, and as it does this, we're going to turn it right down to as low as we can, wrap a tea towel around our lid, and pop it on the pot. Set your timer for 20 minutes and our rice will be perfect. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of mirin, which is a sweet cooking sake, and it's not to drink, it's only to cook with. And you'll see the best one actually says hon mirin, which means a sweet cooking sake. Our next ingredient is Japanese soy sauce. I always use Kikkoman soy sauce, a whole ½ cup. And our last ingredient, this wonderful product called katsuobushi, which is actually shaved bonito fish. So we're going to add about ½ cup of that. So pop your ponzu sauce with the katsuobushi in it into the fridge for at least 24 hours. And I've got one that's been in the fridge for 24 hours. So now we're going to prepare the toppings for our tataki tuna, and the main ingredient is this daikon radish, which is a Chinese radish used in heaps of cooking in Japan. So we're just going to grate that, squeeze all the water out and line it along our lovely cooked tuna. So about a 10 centimetre piece of daikon is enough for 1 plate of tataki tuna. So if you're doing numerous plates, do a little bit more. So what we're going to do now is squeeze all of the juice, the liquid from our daikon, and there you have it. All the liquid's taken off. We're going to zhoosh it up a little bit, ready to place on our tataki tuna. ½ cup of spring onion. Fill a large dish with purified water, pop some ice in it and have it ready sitting next to you when you fry your tuna off. So I've heated my pan with some grapeseed oil, so the pan's nice and hot. I've got my lovely piece of tuna and I'll pop it in there, ready to cook. And the trick is, we don't want to cook it all the way through. We only want to cook it for maybe 40 seconds on each side. You can see we're starting to get that colour through the end there. We turn off the heat and we're going to plunge the whole thing into ice water. So once our rice is cooked for 20 minutes with the lid on, don't take the lid off while it's cooking. We're going to let it sit for a further 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes with a wet spatula, open the lid and we're going to zhoosh it up. Take out our kombu, mix it up, zhoosh it up a little bit. Pop the lid back on to keep it warm. Take the tuna out of the cold water now that we've stopped it cooking and pop it on some paper towel and pat it dry. And then we have it. So let's cut our tuna now. Make sure you've got a really sharp knife. I know most people probably won't have a knife like this, but make sure your knife's sharp. And a little hint, just wet it a little bit before you cut it. So we're going to cut it about 1 centimetre thick. One important aspect of Japanese food is how it looks. The Japanese people eat with their eyes first, so how we present the dish is really important. So the next step is to place our daikon on top. So we start to line the tuna with the daikon right down the middle. Then spring onion, dress it with the spring onion. So with my sauce that I've had marinating overnight, I'm going to pour a little into my lovely little teapot with a strainer. And pour it over my Tataki tuna, over the top. So we're going to finish off with some roasted sesame seeds. So that's our Tataki tuna done, ready to serve with some lovely hot rice. So there you have it. Delicious Japanese Tataki tuna with a ponzu dressing. It's so delicious. So good. Thanks for watching today. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments box below. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Happy Japanese cooking.